Welcome to this Act On It Toolkit webinar. This resource has been funded by UK Aid from the British people. This is a resource for teachers and is a simple getting started guide to the Act On It Toolkit. We thank all the schools in the Western Rural District of Sierra Leone that have contributed to the resource and our implementation partners in Sierra Leone, the inspirational change drivers. So, why use the Act On It Toolkit? Act On It uses these simple methods to improve educational outcomes for marginalised children in the UK and Sierra Leone. This webinar will show you how to use simple Act On It drama-based exercises in the classroom to improve your pupils' spoken language. Act On It drama doesn't need any extra resources and can happen in any space. All you need is your imagination. Some ways to use this training. You can use this training with other teachers or any school support staff as part of their professional development and training. You could work through the whole webinar together in a large or small group. Alternatively, small groups or pairs could take one of the activities each and then show back what they'd learnt and share it with the rest of the group. These are practical activities. They're fun and we find they're great for team building and often lead to a room full of laughter. It's an opportunity to see hidden talents and the great performers in your school. How to use this training. There's no right or wrong way to use Act On It drama-based activities in the classroom. We're all specialists in different areas of the curriculum, teaching different age groups and individuals who all learn in different ways. Each of the following activities is described in 5 sections. You'll see staging. This is how you arrange your room or classroom. Direction. This is what we're going to do and why. Action, the activity. Performance. This is an opportunity for the pupils to demonstrate and perform their new skill. Encore. The encore section includes extra extension ideas you might want to try out or just other things to think about. The slides are just presented almost as a script, with clear instructions and words you can use to deliver the activity in class. When you look at the staging, direction, action and performance sections, you can just try using the words there as the script you use in your class, and then rehearse, practice and make the words your own. The encore section also includes video clips to play, and these will give you some more ideas. Activity 1. Getting started. Neutral. The first part of our toolkit. So the staging. Your pupils in the group could be stood in a circle if you've got a large space or you're working outside. You could also just teach neutral from the front of the class to children at their tables or desks. They could be standing or sitting. Here are the words you can use under direction. We are going to stand in neutral. Does anybody know what neutral means? When we stand in neutral, we are like a blank piece of paper before an artist paints anything on it. We can become anybody or anything. Action. This is your directions to the children. Stand with your feet shoulder width apart and your arms by your side. Relax. Look straight ahead. Don't forget to model the position. Stand in neutral yourself and encourage the children to adjust and get it right. Give them really specific directions. You might say, oh, feet a little bit closer together, that's only shoulder width. Shoulders down and relax. Good. Give plenty of encouragement. For the performance, this is where they demonstrate their skill. You could ask someone to model it at the front or all try together. So, Let's try getting into neutral after some acting. When I say action, all act very, very cold. They're going to be shivering. And then say now, back to neutral. And they'll all stand in a perfect neutral, arms by their sides, feet apart. You can try this out with any other words or by being different characters, but always go back to neutral.
When I'm showing students how to adopt a neutral pose, I get them to think of a hook at the top of their head, pulling them up, and then letting go, so that their body relaxes either side of the line. But remember, they should also keep their feet an even distance apart. Or they can imagine holding hands with the person either side of them. This also helps distribute the weight either side of the line.
Activity 2. Staying in control. Freeze. So you're staging, classroom or your space, just as for neutral. This is what you're going to say to the class. We're all going to learn to say freeze. When you hear me say freeze, you'll freeze what you're doing and don't move a muscle. Make sure in your directions that it's clear to the pupils that when you freeze exactly in the moment. Straight away. Without blinking, without moving your mouth, without moving anything. Action. Now let's all try. We'll start small and let's just wiggle our fingers like I'm doing. When I say action, start to wiggle and then freeze when I say freeze. Action. Wiggle your fingers. Freeze. Good, freezing. Performance. You could ask someone to show this and model it at the front, or all try it together. Now, let's try to freeze and then get back into a good neutral. When I say action, shake your hands. Action, let's shake our hands. Freeze. Everybody freeze. Now back to neutral. Excellent. You can try this out, gradually getting the children to make more movement. Now shake your arms and your hands and freeze and neutral. Perhaps you can even get them to add some sound, always remembering to freeze, stay calm and go back to neutral.
Guide to the toolkit, the Act On It Toolkit. Okay? Action. Freeze. Neutral. Okay. So as you can see, first when I say freeze, what? They stop, not so. Now neutral, they sit down calmly and what? They are looking confident and they are ready to learn. So this is the first session of what the Act On It Toolkit, that the freeze and neutral. Okay.
The key element of a freeze is making sure that your eyes are focused on a fixed point. There can be a little bit of wobble. No one's perfect. As long as those eyes are fixed.
Activity 3. Warming up. Staging. Just the same as for neutral and freeze. Direction. We are going to learn to warm up our voices so that we can speak clearly and be heard. Action. First, standing neutral and have a big stretch. Stretch your arms and a yawn. Ah. We want a big space at the back of our throat as we yawn and say, ah. Now we'll try a different sound. Now smile. Let's see your teeth and say E. Let's try sliding from a high note to a low note. Saying E, and this is the tricky bit, smiling all the time. Let's have a go. Big smile and say E. E. Well done. You smiled all the time.
If there's going to be physical activity, there needs to be warming up. This creates energy in the group and makes it more focused. But there are lots of ways of warming up. You don't have to be running around very energetically. I sometimes use dowing, which is where you cup the hands and slap the body all over. You can hear the distinctive sound made by the cupped hand. It makes you energized.
Activity 4. Focus and concentrate. Staging. This is really good done in pairs. Direction. In your pairs and with your partner, decide who is A and who is B. All decided? Good. Put your hands up, A. Excellent. Put your hands up if you're a B. Excellent. A. You are going to take the lead. B. You are their mirror. So, if A moves their hand very slowly, you copy them. You are going to focus and concentrate so well that it looks as if you're moving at the same time. Action. We'll start with very small actions. Just try moving one hand. A, move one hand. B's copying very, very slowly, trying to work together and focus and concentrate. Now let's try moving our faces, some facial expressions. B. Can you copy the mirror smiling? A, smile. Now maybe A's. Pretend to brush your hair very slowly. Remember, B's copy, focus and concentrate. Try to move together, just like a reflection in the mirror. Good. Performance. You can encourage the children to try to be more complicated in their actions. You could invite pairs up by you onto your stage. Whisper to them, who is A and who is B, but keep it a secret, and see if the class can guess who is leading who.
Okay, now this is the second session, the mirroring of the Act On It Toolkit. So Christopher and Sandra are going to do a demonstration of this session. So now stand neutral and you face yourself. Okay. And you neutral way. So we have Christopher and we have Sandra here, but in this case we are going to name them as well A and B. Christopher here is A and Sandra is B. But you just have to observe, because one of them is the mirror and the other is the individual or the real image that is looking at the mirror. So how can you tell that this is the mirror? You have to observe, because the one that is copying from the other, the one that is going to copy from the other, that person will be the what? The mirror. So now you observe. So yes, you stand neutral. Okay. Somebody face, look at Christopher. Okay. So action. Okay, sorry.
Activity 5. Words, words, words. Now you could have the group sat in a circle. That can be complicated though in some classes if you've got a small space or lots of things to move. If this is the case, you can just do it with your class sat in their usual places. Direction. Say to them, we are going to pass an invisible object around the class. We're going to only use one word to describe it. Everybody will say the word as they pass the invisible object on to the next person. Really think about the word as you say it. Action. Start the activity by holding the invisible object yourself. Imagine it's very heavy and say, "It's heavy," as you struggle to lift its weight. Say to the person that you're going to pass it to, "It's heavy." Show them how heavy it is and pass the object on to them. Then they'll take it and they'll say, "It's heavy." Remember, you can use freeze and neutral to change the word at any time. Performance. You can keep encouraging the children to start to act. Try using, "It's hot," oh, ha, ha, and pass the object on very quickly so it doesn't burn you. "It's ticklish." That will make you start to laugh as you pass it on. Or, "Oh, it's smelly." "Oh, you'll have to wrinkle your noses in disgust if it's smelly.
It's what? Fragile. Brilliant word. Okay, so you
I think you're very fair. In the words game, you can take out the sound. So the group in the circle have to exaggerate the actions. For instance, you've passed round, "It's hot."
Activity 6, greetings. Staging. This can be done in a circle. You can also get pairs of children to model it at the front of the class. Direction. We are going to start to play some different characters, some different people from a story. When we act, we try to think like the character we are playing. We walk and talk like the character too. Action. Shut your eyes and imagine you are a great ruler, a chief, a king or a queen. Think about how powerful you are and stand in a position that shows me that you are confident and proud. When I say your name, walk just in front of me or across the circle as your character. First, direct two children to walk past each other, ignoring each other. Then they walk past each other again and make eye contact. They look at each other. Ask them to walk past each other again and say greetings to each other. Direct them to stay in character and move and speak like a powerful chief. Performance. Add another line each time the children walk past each other. You can give them the next line or ask for suggestions. They might say, "How are you today?" But I'm sure they'll have some brilliant ideas of their own.
In the greetings game, ask them first to walk across the circles themselves, and then back again. And then ask them to walk as the great ruler. Ask them what they're changing. What part of their body are they making different? How are they creating the great ruler?
Activity 7. Statues. Staging. Stand the group in 2 concentric circles. This one's more tricky. So stand the group with 2 circles, one inside each other. The children should face each other in pairs. Or you could just work with a pair or a few pairs of children at the front. Everybody on the outside circle is a sculptor. You are going to create a statue of, and you can decide what you'd like them to make a statue of. Everybody on the inside circle is a lump of clay. You, lumps of clay, can only move if the sculptor tells you. When I say action, sculptors, turn your clay into statues. Action. The sculptors direct the clay to become statues. Sculptors can only use their words to tell their clay what to do. For instance, hold both your hands up in the air. Remind them to think about detail like facial expression. Freeze the statues in their best position. Performance. You get to perform as teacher here. Welcome to our exhibition. Statues, stay frozen. Sculptors, turn to your left and start to walk in a circle around this circle of magnificent statues. Then you, as teacher, can point out the most successful elements of different statues to the class. Look at the wonderful expression in this statue's face. Marvellous!
The gallery are having an open day where the statues are going to be exhibited. And there's going to be a special event. The sculptor is going to be available to answer questions. So take the group around and take them to a specific statue, and then have the sculptor make a small speech or give a title to their piece or explain it, and then they can take questions from the audience.
Activity 8. Tableaux. Staging. Demonstrate with groups of 3 to 5 pupils at the front of the class. Encourage others to be a good audience and do plenty of good looking and listening. Direction. A tableau is a frozen picture, like a photograph, a snap. Here are your directions. Everybody must face the audience. That's the rest of the class watching. Try to use some different levels. Some of you stand up high and some of you down a little lower. Stay close together in your tableau and freeze. Action. Direct the group to become a tableau of a very familiar setting, something like a shop or a market. Give everybody a character to play. For instance, 2 busy people out shopping, a mother and a child, or a shop assistant or a market trader. Performance. Add some drama to the tableau. One of the shoppers could be in a hurry because they're late for an important appointment but have to finish their shopping.
You can do the tableau exercise from the opposite direction. You can just make an interesting picture and ask the group what they think is going on, or they can give it a title and a narrative.
Activity 9. Story structures. Action. You could direct the group in these 3 tableaux. 1. A group of friends are relaxing at the beach. 2. Somebody's phone rings but they can't find it. 3. They find and answer the phone. It's very good news. Performance. Use neutral and a count to transition, to make the move from one scene to another. Start and finish the whole activity in a line in neutral. Give 5 counts to get into each position and freeze for 3 counts. It would sound like this. Action. Tableau 1. Count to 5, so they make the tableau of friends at the beach. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and freeze. Hold for 1, 2, 3. Tableau 2, count to 5 to move into the tableau of a phone ringing, but you can't find it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now freeze for 3, 2, 1 seconds. Tableau 3. Tableau you're going to find and answer the phone. It's very good news. Off you go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're in the new position and freeze. Excellent. And now let's all move quietly into a line and stand back in neutral. Well done.
The transition from one picture to another is sometimes called travelling. They need to create the shortest point between those two pictures, rather than going the long way round to get there. That means sometimes they have to go to the final picture and then work backwards, not bumping into each other, and then get to the first picture. That way they'll have clean, focused lines between each picture.
Activity 10, 30-second theatre. Staging, just the same as for Tableaux. Direction. Everybody can be an actor and have a part in our 30-second theatre. Here is your direction. We start and finish with a tableau. Everybody must say at least one line in character. Your scene must be under 30 seconds. Action. You could develop a single tableau or a series your pupils have already made up while they were working on story structures into a 30-second theatre. Performance. Give the group or the groups their given circumstances and a very quick time to rehearse their scene. You could give them all or some of these 5 W's as their given circumstances. Who they are, where they are, when it is, what they are doing and why they are doing it. The 5 W's are brilliant. They're a really good way to give the children specific things to act which they can then remember and write about.
You can start using the 5 W's, who, where, when, what, why, to start making notes and creating pictures and graphics to put on the walls around the classroom or the space that you're working in. And then you can create a shape that represents the person or the character they're creating. This is called the role on the wall.
Activity 11. Finale. Staging. Sat or stood in your usual class places, or all facing the front, or in a circle. Direction. We're all going to jump and say "ha" at the same time. We should be able to do this because we've been working together so well. Action. Demonstrate a "ha" for your class. Jump up on the spot while saying "ha" with your arms all in the air or out in front of you like a robot. When I say action, we will all "ha" together. Performance. Try to do this as a whole group. Start in neutral. And when you've done it all, when you've done your "ha", you can go back to neutral. And then take a bow. Take a bow together by bending over, just as actors do at the end of a performance. Let's try that. In neutral. We're really looking at each other. Nobody's going to start it. It's just going to happen. Ha! Well done. Back to neutral. And take a bow. This could take a few goes, but is a lovely thing to practice each time you do some Act On It in class.
Alternative finale is an exercise called Follow Me. One person starts, they jump in with an action and a sound, jump back out again. Everybody jumps in and does the same sound and action. It goes round the circle, each person having a different sound and action. But the rule is to jump in very quickly and don't spend time thinking about the sound and action you're going to do. Just do it. Everybody follows. It's a very lively exercise, and at the end you can take a round of applause and a bow.
Finally, a little bit about Act On It. A bit about our mission, our drama-based approach, and how we always aim to be original, effective, optimistic, bold, and nice. We hope you found this toolkit webinar useful. Here's a link to our website, so please click on it to find out more and follow us and like us on social media.